Now, this is my college degree, a college that I went to for 4 years to get a certification degree in finance and a minor in nutrition. And a lot of people online are going to say, "Oh, don't go to college anymore because it's not worth it." And there might be some truth to that, but I'm not completely against college. I think depending on what you want to do with your life, it might be worth it. But for me personally, if I could go back, I would say this wouldn't be worth it. Now, if I could go back and not go to college, would I? Probably. I probably would still go because I've made so many memories. I would not know the friends that I know now, and it's just how God has given me the path on my life. But when I graduated school and I had a job in accounting, I was like, am I really fulfilling God's purpose? Using this to work for another company? And the answer was no. I wasn't helping other people. I wasn't serving my purpose to educate people with the knowledge that I know. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a risk and go all in on helping other people and change my life and do what I want to do, health and fitness. Because doing this for the rest of my life, I'm not going to be fulfilled. I'm going to be way more stressed, and I'm not going to fulfill my purpose in life and enjoy what I'm doing. And that's when I quit my job. I went all in on coaching people through my fitness account, which you guys are watching right now, and it's completely changed my life. But if I never took that risk and took action, I would be in my 9 to 5 job right now. So I want to break down exactly how I got here and how I changed my life, because I've never really described to you guys what I do and the process that I've gone through, because I've hired multiple mentors. I've gone through several programs, and the knowledge that I know now, I feel like you guys have to know. So I want to share that with you and explain exactly what I've done. So watch this video. Okay, so a little less than a year ago, 9 months ago, August 1st is when I officially started coaching people one on one in a very mannered sense. And at the beginning of August, I spent $5,000 on a mentor. And then 3 months later, I spent another $10,000 on a mentor. And then 3 months later, I spent another $10,000 on another mentor. Why? Because I wanted to grow my business as fast as possible, because speed is everything. And this is the 25K blueprint that made me hit 50K a month in less than 6 months. And I can show you guys right here the screenshots. What is this? January. The month of January is when I first hit my first 50K month. You can see 43.5K. And then the test maxing community was doing 7K reoccurring at the time. So that was a 50K month. And I was doing back to back like 10K weeks, something slight. And as you can see, July 26th, I had 1,000 followers, 2023. And then August, when I really started coaching, I had 20,000 followers. And then, 6 months later, or what is that, 4 months later, 250,000 followers. So I evolved pretty quickly, and I'm going to teach you exactly what I learned, the full blueprint on everything to build up your coaching business and build up your personal brand. Because a lot of people don't understand how powerful a personal brand is in 2025. I talk to people all the time. They're like, "Oh, do you do this full time?" It's like, bro, if you saw how much money I made, you start posting content too. And this is what I want to show you guys. I want you guys to understand right now, if you're not posting content, you are missing out. Every single piece of content that you post on the internet is a lottery ticket for your personal brand and to build you, right? Whether you're trying to sell coaching, whether you're trying to, just have a personality online. Maybe you want to create a product like, some deodorant or cotton underwear, whatever it may be. I could do that too. Like, I have a personal brand now to do exactly that. And that is the most important thing, is that it all starts with you. What you stand for, what your image is, and what you associate with. For me, it's red meat, eggs, test maxing. But for people like Andrew Tate, it's Bugattis.
it's masculinity. It's all these different associations that people portray to him. So when you think about Andrew Tate, you think about kickboxing, Bugattis, rich, women, whatever it may be, or Wes Watson, right? Bugatti, jacked, shredded, tested up, like roided up, whatever it may be. Like, you have to have associations with your personal brand if you want to be identified in 2025. When people see me in person, they're always like, oh, you're the guy who talks about testosterone. You're the guy who is shredded sages, right? Shredded high test, no poisons, no toxins. You have to have an image for yourself, exactly what you stand for. And that is through your content, through the things that you say, through the polarization that you give out. I don't care if you're right. I don't care if you're wrong. That is exactly what a personal brand is for. You don't have to be right. You don't have to be wrong. It's what you stand for, what you personally do. And that's a big mistake that people don't understand, is that they're scared to post what they do because they're scared that it's wrong, or they're scared that it's not aligned with what's right. It's like, it's based on what you do. All these guys right here say things that are wrong, but it's related to them. So that's the first thing, is building your personal brand based on what you do and identifying your identity and your ICP, your ideal client persona, right? Through the reels, through the YouTube, through the stories that you make, through the lifestyle that you live. When you go on my page, a lot of you guys watching this right now are from my YouTube, but you've probably seen a bunch of my Instagram. You've probably seen a bunch of my stories. You almost know who I am because of the content that I'm posting out. You know everything that I eat. You know everything that I do. You know what my girlfriend looks like. You know what I don't eat, what I stand for, what I don't, right? That's exactly what you have to do with your content. And it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Any sort of content can be converted into a coaching program if you know what you're optimizing for and you're giving value. That's the biggest thing. Giving value through the things that you do. Because what people are buying into is you. If someone doesn't buy your coaching, it's probably because they don't stand for what you do. And if they don't stand for what you do, they're probably not following you. So if you just display what you do, you're authentic and you are yourself, you're not copying other people, people will follow you and people will buy into your program. And that's exactly what I learned over these past 6 months, because I was always trying to fit in. I was always trying to, be right. I mean, you can go back in my Instagram and look at my very first post of, making these green screens on lifting videos. That lifts I've never even done, just because I was trying to fit in. But once I differentiated myself and I talked about what I did personally, whether it was right or wrong, that's when people actually resonated with me. That's when people felt connected with me. And that's when I started getting clients. So it's exactly what I stand for. A holistic approach, high test habits, animal-based dieting. I displayed this dream lifestyle by connecting these elements to the results that I've gotten. A lot of you guys know that I don't drink anymore. A lot of you guys know that I don't smoke weed, I don't drink, I don't go out, I don't hang around with, bad friends. I've tied all these lifestyle changes back to my coaching program and back to what I stand for. And that's the biggest thing. You want to be authentic and what you do. If you think you can drink once a week and get results, then tell your audience that. If you think that you can eat 20% processed food and 80% healthy, tell your audience that. I don't believe that, but if you believe that, then stand for it. You need to stand for whatever you do and what's gotten you the transformation. That is the biggest thing. What's gotten you from point A to point B, which is right now. And that's what people want to hear, because everyone is different. Every single person is different. So once you understand that, you can actually start building your personal brand. And when you start building your personal brand, that is when you can start building a coaching business. So I'm going to show you exactly what that is. So when I started posting, what was it? I guess over a year ago. Started posting over a year ago. You can go back and look at all my posts. I wasn't selling any coaching program. I wasn't selling anything. I was just posting to get value. And that's the goal at the end of the day. You should want to just have a social media to have a social media, right? You should want to post because you want to. A lot of people, they want to start these social media pages or show their lifestyle just to make money. You know, my goal was never to make money. It was always just to give the value that I feel like people need to know. I feel like everyone needs to know that testosterone is the most important thing that you have to optimize for. Because if you optimize for that, everything else in life follows. So I'll make videos talking about why I hate on jogging, why I only eat red meat, you know, why I'm doing all these things, why not to eat oats. I wasn't selling anything at the time. I was just telling people what it was that I do. And yeah, did I get hate comments? Of course. But people who resonate with you and people who actually want to hear what you have to say will follow you. They'll like the video. Who cares about hate? If you're not getting hate, you're probably not doing something right. So that's the biggest thing. You just want to focus on giving value. You know, give, give, give. If you want to sell coaching in the future, you have to give, 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 and build that trust, right? When I meet high executive people nowadays, the biggest thing that I try to do is give them some sort of value before they ever even understand who I am. You know, if I go out to lunch with like an executive or a mentor or something, like I'll just like order for us, you know, buy the dinner, whatever, give them value or bring them something. Like one time I brought my mentor like honey. I try to just bring him raw honey, like, bro, like this shit will give you a crazy pump. Like just give, give, give. Not in that sense, but like in your content, give value and give what's made you that transformation. Show people what has gotten you from point A to point B. And once you understand that, then you can learn how to communicate through your stories, your Instagram stories. And this is something that I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen me do. Learn to communicate how I was able to overcome problems through myself and through the things that I portray. You know, in this example right here, 3 years ago, I was slinging beers for absolutely no reason. And then I talk about why I stopped drinking and why drinking and developing yourself and becoming the best version of yourself does not go hand in hand. And then I said, do you actually care about leveling up if you're still drinking? Right? I'm displaying what I did that got me from, you know, a lot of people's current states that are watching my story to where they want to be. A lot of people want to be in my shoes, you know, more jacked, more shredded, higher testosterone. And to get in that spot, you have to overcome problems like drinking, like bad habits. And I talk about how I was able to overcome that. In my mentorship, I talk about the bridge method, where you talk about the current state, which a lot of your audience is probably dealing with right now, and the desired state, which is where you're at right now, and how you were able to overcome that within yourself. Because when you link yourself to the solution of the problem, that's where coaching comes in. That is exactly where coaching comes in. Selling a transformation based on what you've done and what your clients have done. It doesn't even have to be through your clients. It can just be through you. Before I ever had any clients, I would talk about the problems that I was facing and how I overcame them through what I've done. So once you understand how to communicate problems that you've overcame on your story, and also just talk about other problems that you see and what you would do, that's when people are going to reach out to you for coaching, especially when you apply the bridge method, which is a very important method, which, like I said before, I talk about in the mentorship. Like, it really builds a connection with your audience, which is the goal at the end of the day, building that connection and building that trust, which is where we go to step 3. Express even more of me on YouTube. Before I knew anything about YouTube, I would just post Instagram, post stories, you know, here and there. I wasn't posting on YouTube. You got to post on YouTube. It builds more connection. It builds more trust. It's more of actually you. You know, you can go and see test maxing with my girlfriend, you know, how I interact with my girlfriend, what we eat, what we did, or why an environment is making you a soy boy. You know, talking about my transformation on, you know, being in a college dorm versus living in Florida. Talking about my change, you know, kind of that bridge method that I talked about earlier. And then things like avoid these 4 foods if you want steroid level testosterone. Just building more trust, giving more value, and showing what I do. That's the whole purpose of YouTube. A lot of people that aren't on YouTube, it's like no one knows who you are on Instagram. I mean, yeah, they can maybe watch 5-10 stories a day, but they don't know who you are. If someone's going to buy a coaching program from you, they want to know who you are and what you do, how you interact. And there's actually been some studies showing that, the more time someone has spent with you, the more likely they're going to buy. It's like a battery, right? The more you charge up the battery, the more likely the person's going to buy from you. And in the study, they showed like once someone spends 7 hours with you of consumed content, they're 10 times more likely to buy. Think of that. 7 hours of content. How is someone going to watch 7 hours of content on Instagram? How many reels would they have to watch? Freaking 1,000? 500? I don't even have 500. I might have like maybe 500 reels, but is everyone watching every single reel? No. But I can go make a 1 hour YouTube video right now and they're 1/7 of the way there, right? 4 or 5 YouTube videos, they're way more connected with me. That's the power of YouTube. Building that connection. Because at the end of the day, everything's about connection and how you understand people. So you need to get on YouTube. Once you understand your personal brand, you show your transformation through your stories and the problems that you overcame, and you show more of yourself on YouTube, the connection is clicking left and right. The trust clicking left and right. Once you understand that, then you want to go back to the stories. Post more stories. A lot of you guys follow me on Instagram here. You see 15, 20 stories of me every single day. I'm just showing my life. That's what people want to see. It's like a reality TV show, showing your life every single step. Maybe you see a client transformation here and there. It's like an ad, That's how the system works. Showing your lifestyle, how you overcame these problems. And then if you have clients, even better, because then you can use those clients to show the work that you've done to promote your coaching, promote what you do for people, right? And that's the biggest thing. And this is how the solar system works. People who follow you, they go back and forth between YouTube, Instagram. I mean, a lot of you guys right now watching this YouTube video, you probably watch my Instagram every single day. You see me post a YouTube video, you go watch it too. And you go back to Instagram. That's how the system works. And it makes you guys understand who I am more, who Nathan Sages actually is. I can post those 10-second, 15-second reels all I want. Raging in the grocery store, doing some rage bait or whatever it may be, right? I could do that all day. But it doesn't show you guys who I actually am. The stories do a lot better displaying who I actually am, but YouTube's even better. And then when you implement all those things, you show your brand, your journey, and actually building a connection, which is the most important thing. Because if there's no connection, there's no trust. That's the biggest thing at the end of the day. Who do you trust the most? Your friends. Why? Because you have the closest connection with them. Same with your family. You're not going to trust a stranger. Who would you rather buy from? A stranger or your friend selling a $5 candy bar? The stranger could put freaking steroids in the candy bar. Is your friend going to do that? No, you trust him more. You have a better connection with him. It's exactly how it works. You're using these platforms to build friends and to build trust and connection. And that's exactly how the system works every single time. Every single time. Get on YouTube, get on Instagram, and be consistent. And that's the biggest thing. I was consistent every single day. A lot of you guys are seeing this. You want to build your coaching offer. You want to build your personal brand. If you aren't consistent at the end of the day, nothing matters. Nothing matters because everyone wants to do this, right? Everyone wants to have a personal brand. Everyone wants to sell coaching now. Everyone wants to have something online. But what's going to differentiate you from everyone else is being consistent and being more determined. And that's exactly what got me in the spot that I'm into today. Being more consistent every single day, posting every single day. You can go back a whole year. I posted every fucking day. Every fucking day. Posting stories every fucking day. There's no excuse. If you want this to work out, you have to be consistent and be determined. And follow these guidelines. I guarantee you, things will work out. I'm telling you, bro. And then just have an awesome fucking program. is the last thing that I want to say. One thing that I learned in one of my mentorships is marketing can only get you so far. With all businesses, there's marketing, there's fulfillment, there's sales. Marketing is very important, right? People got to know who you are, but you also got to fulfill to show what you can do and not get bad word of mouth. A lot of people online nowadays, they have terrible programs. There's word of mouth going around, and people find out about that. You can see right here, I have over 35 client testimonials. I've only been coaching for less than a year now. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I don't know many online fitness coaches who have more testimonials than me, and I have, over 100 transformations. But you have to have a good program. And when you have your marketing, you build connection, and you can fulfill, guess what? You have a coaching business. That is how you build a coaching business. And this is what I've learned, over the past 9 months after spending over 25K on mentors, grinding every single day, doing my own research. This is exactly how it works. And I guarantee you, if you are consistent, if you are determined, you will get there too. I'm nothing special. Obviously, you got to have a good physique. That's the biggest thing. Like making sure you can practice, or you can teach what you practice, right? That's the biggest thing. There's like NBA coaches who haven't been in the NBA. Like the best NBA coach are the ones who have played in the sport. Like that's how you kind of have to be. But if you're someone who wants to join my mentorship and take your coaching to the next level, book a call with me in the link in the description, and I'll hop on a personal call with you one-on-one with me to see if you're qualified for my mentorship to build your coaching business and your personal brand. But aside from that, I don't have anything else for you guys. I hope this video kind of helps you understand where I've went in the past 9 months with my offer and my coaching and my personal brand. Because, a year ago, what's today? July like 10th. A year ago today, I graduated school and I was just posting for fun. I wasn't making like any money. My parents were on my ass. Saying, oh, you got to get a real job. You just went to school for 4 years. You got to pay off 100K in debt. Like, what are you going to do? You're not going to make this work out full time. You got to get a job. It's like, bro, this is the future. Info products are the future, and personal branding is the future. And if you don't believe that, let me make this bigger for a second. If you don't believe that, go to Google right now and look up info product market in the next 10 years. Look that up on Google, ask ChatGPT, and you'll be surprised. But that's pretty much it. Hope this video helped. Like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video.